Alright, back again. But this time I thought, let's start a new one. We'll come back to the old one, The Hidden Truth, but I really want to do Schala's theme because it's my favorite song in the game, and Schala's a cool character, man. She's pretty much the linchpin of the whole Chrono series, and kind of everything. Even though she's not a main character, kind of everything ends up revolving around her. And she doesn't really say that much, but what she does say is like really important, and she's a really cool character. And she has probably the best song in the game too, so that's pretty cool. So just like we started doing last time, let's do a little warm-up first. Do a little bit of ear training. Remember, just Google ear training, and it's the first one that comes up. It's actually funny. It took me a minute to realize it because like tonedeer.com, and I was like, yeah, okay, like that's a nice toned ear, but really it's like toned ear, like you're working out your ear and getting it all toned and buff, I guess. So yeah, anyways, just go simple there. And what did we do last time? We did fourths and fifths, so my face cam's probably covering some of this, but you should be able to figure it out pretty easy. Let's do major 6 and minor 6. Let's just do those two. Start with ascending, and do the same like we did last time. So let's do that up. That's a major 6. A good little device for major 6 is Donkey Kong. Those first two notes in Donkey Kong is a major 6, like Donkey Kong Country, where it's like dun 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 dun. So if you listen again and try, just think Donkey Kong. There, get some volume there. That's how I usually end up hearing it. There's other things, but that's the most obvious one. And minor 6. Okay. This is the best thing I can think of off the top of my head for that one is, you know that Usher song where it's like, I think it's called Yeah, where it's like down 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 down, where it's like down 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 down. So that the second two notes is a minor 6 in that. So let's listen to it. I don't even know if any of you, that was a big song when I was like a teenager, so it's kind of just in there, right? If you don't remember it, just go look it up or whatever. But that's a good way to remember minor 6, I guess. So that the second two notes is a minor 6. I'm just logging into the chat here. Bear with me for 1 second. Oh, we got an Usher fan in here. Alright. So, moving on. What was that again? It's minor. That actually sounds, it's weird how that happens in certain keys where something can trick you for like 1 second that sounds major. But I think that one was actually minor, but it like sounded happy, right? In certain keys, they're like almost, you have to listen harder than others. They're not as obvious. And watch out for that. Major. Hearing Donkey Kong there. Major, minor, that's major? No. I goofed. Major, and I'll do one more. Minor. See, that one was like obviously sad, right? Whereas that other one that sounded happy was just because it was in a different key. So it's kind of interesting how that kind of stuff works. So let's switch it to descending now. Do a couple of those. Just try and hear them backwards. So, okay. That was a minor 6. So I'm trying to think descending minor 6, a good way. If you don't want to try and hear it backwards, there's that song, it's like, what if God was one of us? So the God was part is a descending minor 6. So hear it again and you'll probably hear that. You kind of hear that? I don't even know if anyone knows that song. But... What? I think that was actually wrong, because those were the same. But anyway, that one's major. For a major 6 descending, I don't have any trick for that one. I don't know. I just know it, I guess. But because I can't think of a single song that has that. I think that's minor. Yeah. That one's hard to hear. Major. Minor. Click here again as many times as you need to get it right. You try to hear it all different ways. Minor. Major. There's minor. No. Major. Okay, so like, yeah, you don't have to get them all right, obviously. Just a little bit of warm up, practice. I'm not gonna get any of these right because harmonics are not my strong suit yet. So we're gonna go through this together and just try. I think that's minor. I think that's major. You have to, it's like I was saying last time, you have to almost try and separate the two notes in your brain, and then you can like try to sing it or whatever. It's some people, I think some people can just kind of hear up the middle and hear exactly what it is, I think, after like years of training or whatever. But for me, it just definitely helps to separate the two notes separately. That sounds like a minor. That sounds like a minor. So this is a good key to try and hear this in. That sounds like a major to me, I think, because I can hear the Donkey Kong thing in it if I separate the... Like, see, so... And that sounds like a minor. Just do a couple more and then we'll jump into her. I think that's minor as well. Minor? Nope. Alright. We just gotta clear this. Major. Okay, so it took me like 10 listens to try and hear that, and then I had to like clear everything out of my head, like, and then start again, because it was like sometimes if you do too much ear training at once, you're hearing the stuff you just heard is coloring what you're hearing now, and it's hard to like pick it out. It's almost like the keys you're all hearing are all like jumbling into each other. So you don't want to ever do too much ear training all at once. Just do it in small chunks. That's enough for us for right now too. Just a little warm up. Just try and do this much every day, and I swear you'll get amazing results. So let's exit this, and I'll show you something else I found that's going to help us. Since I don't have a physical keyboard right now that's hooked up in any way that we can do this with, I found a virtual piano. So now if you Google It's just, if you just Google virtual piano, it's not the first result because that one kind of, I tried that one, it's not very good. It's the second result, this apronus.com, whatever. And you can add as many octaves as you want. It starts out pretty small, but it goes all the way. And we can definitely use that to our advantage when we're transcribing stuff, because it'll even say the names of the notes that we're hearing and stuff. So let's try it with that today. Get your SPC or whatever, however you have this song, Schala's theme. Get your Transcribe and opened, a blank one. And okay, now set everything to normal. Just gonna give it a little volume there. Yeah, man, let's do Schala's theme. So let's just listen to the first few seconds right from the start. So pretty easy, like right in the beginning there's only one instrument going anyway. So let's slow that down a little bit and hear what's really going on there. Okay. So even though at full speed, it just sounds like quarter notes or whatever, just because it's just so airy of a tone. So now we slowed it down, and we found out it's actually double notes going on there. It's just that, so it plays every note twice, it's just that the first one's a little louder than the second one each time. Let's figure out what those are. First of all, let's change our track here to reflect that. I think the closest thing Guitar Pro has to that sound that we just heard is probably this one, Tuned Idiophone Celesta. Celesta. So, I don't know what to call that. Let's just call it High as a Kite. This is pretty up there. I think we're going to have to tune this thing up a little bit. Let's see what's the highest note. Alright, so that's not high enough, obviously, so let's go and click the name of the instrument, hit these arrows, and tune it up an octave till you see E here again and E here again. So that is going to be high enough. So Alt tab to our virtual piano, get this open, put it down here. Okay, so let's figure out what is that very first note. It's A sharp. And then F. Let's put that in. That was F. I think we're going to call those 16th notes for now, until we figure out what they actually are. I think that's probably what they are, though. Okay, so we got our first two notes, so that's something. By the way, apologies for the horrible lighting. I can't get it right in here. Eventually I'm just going to have to move this setup into like a better spot where I can have the lights how I want them, but for now, just bear with me. I know it hurts not being able to see my beautiful face, but so it's kind of pedaling on this F note, it sounds like, because it goes A sharp, F, and then what's the next note? G sharp, or, yeah. I can see the Celestia instrument getting really annoying. Why don't we just change that to a piano for now? There. Let's listen to it again, very quick. Right, so it copies this again. Let's just do a quick copy and paste. Drag the box within a bar, and you can copy a section and paste it within that same bar or another one. Now, get back to our piano here. And then it goes up, right? So, what's that? I'm gonna guess it's G. Nope. Okay, so C and G sharp. Sounds good. So let's throw that in there. Okay, so that was that second note there, so that's kind of cool. That sounds too fast though, doesn't it? Let's put that down to 100. That's sounding pretty good. So, alright, let's run back here. Listen to that. Does it do the same thing again? Yep. And again. And again. So what we're going to do, just copy that, paste it. Just copy a bar. Like if you just click anywhere within a bar, but don't do that. Just click one spot, hit copy, Control C. Then you can copy the whole bar. Then when you paste it, you can just do that. And you're all set. So now other instruments are starting to creep into here on bar 3, right? So let's add a track. Everything default for now. And let's just give it another quick listen. Alright, so that's pretty sweet. I got carried away there listening to it, but another little melody comes in there that not only complements the original one by being different from it, but it also does harmonize with it briefly, which is really cool. I really like that. Hear that? Let's slow down and like really hear what it's doing. Hear that? But it's really just doing its own like dun 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 dun. It just happens to harmonize with the original one and sound really cool. Let's figure that out very quick. Let's get there and slow down. So it's just 3 notes. Bear with me, I'm not used to doing this keyboard thing. Well, I think those are the last 2 notes, so what's the first note? G sharp. A sharp. Let's just let's do like a retroactive kind of fill in then. Fill in some empty 16th notes. Right? And what do we have there? G sharp and A sharp, wasn't it? Are we hearing that right though? Let's check it again. Something weird about that. See, if I just did it in here, I could probably figure it out easier. Okay. So I think... Oops, what the hell am I doing? What am I doing? I think that's, those are the notes, okay? So this has its own rhythm where it has like an eighth note pause at the end of this. Nope, just select that. We're gonna paste it. See if that sounds right. It might. Oh, let's put this one can be that instrument. So. And that keeps going, so paste that. I just want to give it a quick listen here and see if it sounds like we got it right. Yeah. All right. So we're hearing. Cool. And then it still keeps going like through the whole song, but I mean, it's buried now, right? It almost blends into where it's just a harmony. Like you just hear it as a harmony of the first one because there's so much other stuff going on too, which is pretty cool. So what else happens now? Cool. So you hear that string thing that comes in there at the same time then? I'm going to set this to keep going. So just a quick little copy and paste thing. Get this to keep going. Okay. Now let's do a little operation here. We're going to select bars 3 to 6, all the tracks. Okay. And we're going to paste that like 3 times. Whoa. We'll just to have it in there, we can delete excess later. Add a new track. I'm not going to bother naming. Let's just not bother naming all these until they're all done. Usually with anything like this, I'll start with string ensemble 1. Change it if it doesn't sound right, but it started at the same time as this thing. Let's try and figure out what that was. So that's an A sharp going, right? Oh. Okay. So fill those first notes in first. Oops. Really, it's B flat and A flat. So maybe I'll start calling them that. I think it's yeah. For 1 bar each, then. Oops. Set that to a whole note. Set that to a whole note. That's still way too fast, right? So, like, I'm thinking it's probably even like 80, maybe 85. Let's split it down the middle and say 83 for now. That's better. All right, fill in the rest. Figure out. What's that note? E flat. Fill that in. But wait, that's only a half note, isn't it? Because there was other stuff going on in that bar. And that one was a quarter note, so I'll just show you here, okay? Half note, two quarter notes. So it's a half note and 2 quarter notes. So we had our E flat. Goes down to a C. Put the C in. I'm gonna have to take a wild guess and say it resolved to a B flat there, but let's try that. Let's see if all that sounds right. It sounds so empty without the rhythm all kicking in there, doesn't it? So, okay, that's what we're going to do next. Add another track. This time you're going to add a percussion. As I said last time, percussion is pretty weird in Guitar Pro. It's probably the same in like any MIDI program. But since Guitar Pro uses numeral frets, usually to enter notes, it also does the same thing with drums. If you ever need to know what you're doing, though, just find this little drum button. And this shows all of them, what they all do, what they are, and you can click on it, see what it sounds like. And the reason I say that is because the percussion in this song is all bongos and congas and stuff like that, so it's not going to be your usual metal instruments that you're used to. So you might have to look it up. Let's hear it. Okay. So that's pretty cool. Notice there was a voice that came in too at the same time. We won't forget about that. We'll get that in a second. Get the percussion first. Alright. So I don't know. I have to look these up. That's my favorite thing in Guitar Pro. I'm just trying to find a low bongo-y sound. Nope. A low conga maybe? No. Not low enough. I think that is going to be the lowest thing. Let's fill in all 4 quarter notes here. I heard 2 of these, there, okay, 2 of these like 8th notes right in the beginning. And then a higher bongo. a little easier to hear it before all that stuff comes in. Let's just keep. So we got like a hand slap thing there right after that. What was it? Like a high ball. I'm gonna go with that one. And I think that's an trying to figure it out in my head here. Well, let's do it the same old process of elimination way, right? I'm pretty sure that's not the rhythm, but like, actually, okay, maybe it was. Let's see if that sounds right. I'm just gonna solo the drums for a sec. Okay, so apparently my stream disconnected there, and it might be uploading this as another one. I'm actually not sure. So if so, hi, part 2, I guess. You didn't miss anything, except that okay, you did miss something. I fixed this rhythm here for the bongos. Let's listen to it and you'll see what I mean. Okay, so that's still not quite right. It's a safe bet when you hear something like that and you're trying to figure out a rhythm, like let's say you're maybe kind of newer to figuring out rhythms and stuff. There's always things to try, and you're pushing, how can I explain this? You're pushing that last note a little closer to the edge, because, okay. So you're like, no, that's not quite right. So try putting a dot on this note and making this one note shorter. So that's often the case with stuff like that. It's weird because like when I'm figuring out rhythms and I find dotted notes, it's almost like this weird scale. It's funny because they look like that too, where it's like this scale you can tip one a little closer to the other or whatever by putting a dot on one and making the other shorter. The long way to do that would be like, like that, right? Alright, cool. So just bear with me for 1 second. I just want to check on the health of the stream here. I guess it's still live. Okay, that's cool. Everything's great. Glad to see it. So, okay, let's head back into the song. There's just no way you're gonna replicate those bongo sounds in Guitar Pro. It's not happening. It's probably one of the worst limitations of it, I guess, is that the percussion sounds are just dreadful. They're just terrible. The idea is we're only using this to make like a rough sketch anyway of the song, so we can study it. But if you wanted those bongos to sound right, there are so many programs you could literally just take this Guitar Profile you made or whatever you're doing it in, plug it in like Ableton Live, Cubase, or Pro Tools or whatever, and you could set the real sounds for all these bongos. So don't worry about getting them to sound just like it. Just worry about getting the rhythms, the notes in there, an approximation, right? Okay. So that being said, I just want to it hit that same hand thing again before it did the big one again. Just want to make sure this is right. Slow it down some more. Go back where it starts. So yeah, I don't know about you, but I find if you're listening to this while you're watching the notes that you made, you can like kind of visually look and like pick out any little mistakes or anything as it's going. So sometimes even if you can't figure out something, it's like good to just put something in there so that you can then like watch it as it plays. Okay, so see, I had the rhythms right, but it's more like that with how it's actually played. Oops. Actually, I think the second, we're gonna listen to it one more time. I know, but oh, okay, yeah. I'm gonna find a medium kind of, yeah, that one, low conga 64. No, 64. I'm not looking at the keyboard, that's why. There, I think that's the closest we can get in Guitar Pro, but let's listen to it. Right? I mean, that's it, but it's just pathetic Guitar Pro sounds, right? Man, does it ever look like I'm in a dungeon basement right now? I'm just looking at the feed here, and the lighting is so bad. I'm sorry, you guys. Okay, so all that rhythm slams, like, all that rhythm slams you, but there's still so much missing, right? Like, first of all, I set it, I set it on the wrong, I set it on the wrong spot. It actually, all the action actually starts happening here, 7. So if you ever do that, this is a good learning experience. Just go to where you have it, copy to the last bar you have. Say okay, delete it all, go to the bar where it starts, hit paste, you're done. Now, this note is being held. Oh, shortcut for this is L, by the way, if you want to tie a note and keep it going, cross bars. And by the way, the ending of this 4th one was a little different, wasn't it? Alright, so we got 2 birds stoned at once there, right? Because as I was listening to that, I did notice that this last leading note in the next bars is the lower boom, boom. And as I was trying to show you, this has like a boom, boom, boom thing at the very end of this. So now I'm not going to be able to stop making that sound all day now. And okay, so I'm pretty sure that was a triplet 8th notes. So put that in there like that, and let's listen to it right quick. Here we go. Gotta love triplets. This is starting to look pretty good already. So save it, because Guitar Pro 5 is psychopathic and it will ruin your life. The more work you do, the more it tries to ruin it. So, what are we still missing? We're missing that other voice I mentioned earlier. So let's capture that now. Let's turn ensemble strings and voices. Choir Oz. And I think that hit like right here in bar 7 where this one hits. I'm hearing I am hearing another voice come in that harmonizes with the string. So we can fast forward here. Okay, so that's there. Good little trick is if it's a long sustaining note and you want a lot of time to be able to figure it out, wait till it starts playing, slow it right, like pause it and then slow it right down. Maybe the slowest it goes, who cares, and then just play. Try to internalize it, right? That's the note I'm hearing, right? So then keep it in your head, keep singing it. I think that's it, right? Right? Okay, so that was pretty easy. And it's just F, plain old F. Good old F. So F that. Oh, it's way louder than everything else, so that's not good. Here we go. Cool. There's another voice too. I actually just heard it. I didn't hear it before. A lower one. It's like, oh. Is that an F2? I think that's also an F. That's our bass, I guess. Let's call it bass, I guess. Do the tuning trick. Tune it down an octave. I've said this many times before, but I will reiterate. Never in Guitar Pro when you add an instrument, right? Let's just do it right now. Never do this, the 4 strings for the bass, because I'll show you why, actually. Let's just pretend I had a melody that the bass is. Oh my god, this can't, I don't know what's going on. My internet hasn't been working great all day. I'm not even sure if anyone can see this anymore. It keeps, all I know is my streaming program just keeps coming up and saying disconnected, reconnected, disconnected, reconnected. I don't know if it's starting a new stream each time. I have no capacity to check that without interrupting what I'm doing. So I'm just going to keep going and hope that it's working for you guys. Sorry if it's all messed up. If I have to, then later I'll just go edit all 3, 4 videos or whatever it is back into one. So if my internet would work for a minute. All right, no, it's working. My bad, people. So let's delete this little track here I just made for demonstration purpose. And back to what we were actually doing. What instrument would that melody, oh, just hearing even a little bit of it gets me, man, every time. But yeah, what I was gonna say there is the the little bass instrument, I think the closest you're going to get to that in Guitar Pro is probably the cello. And didn't I say I thought that was an F too? But well, let's listen again. Let's go to our keyboard. Let's listen. It's let's add a lower octave. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, damn, that's a F sharp or G flat. It's G flat because we already have Fs in the song elsewhere. But that doesn't sound right. It sounds very not right. What's going on? There we go. Okay. Well, I'll tell you that it's right. It is an F sharp there. Or sorry, G flat. But it doesn't sound right. Oh, I know what's going on. I'm so stupid sometimes. I was listening to the wrong part. Okay, yeah, like it starts here. It starts on the B flat. It does. I was listening to the wrong part. After the after like the I guess the melody starts, then it starts doing something else. So there we go. Yeah, man, that F sharp I was hearing, it goes here. It still sounds weird, doesn't it? And then remember I was hearing this, and then... So, we got a lot going on here, but my goddamn streaming program just won't stop disconnecting. There's something wrong with my internet. Like my router needs to be reset or whatever. But anyway, I can't keep doing this because it just keeps disconnecting. And we're pretty much over time for this episode. Anyway, we got a lot done. We learned a few little tricks and stuff. It won't take much longer to I was I was gonna say to beat this. Like we gotta beat that boss, man. It's just funny because you can see it that way, but. It won't take us much longer to finish this one. There's not too much more to it. So I'm thinking one more stream to finish the transcription and then one where we're going to analyze the theory. So yeah, stick around. We're gonna hit that up next couple days. I'll do the next one of this. And we will get back to the hidden truth. I'll just run them concurrently, you know what I mean? We're always going to have a couple going at a time just so it doesn't get boring. So anyways, thanks for watching, man. Hope you learned something. Do your ear training every day, and I'll see you next time.